American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. In the Washington, D.C. suburb of Woodbridge, Virginia, 2 men and 2 women were shot and killed Monday. Lindsay Watts of Fox affiliate WTTG filed this report.
We saw family and friends of the victims out here just waiting for answers. A man told me his cousin was renting a room in the house and he wasn't able to reach him. He says police wouldn't confirm if his cousin was among the dead. Police say they found a gun and detained a man they're calling a person of interest. I listened to the police radio traffic as this was playing out and knew that someone had called in the shooting from the home. Police tell me they believe it was the person of interest who made that initial call for help. Police have not announced any charges for this person of interest, but they're also saying they don't believe there's any threat to the community and that the shooting was isolated to the house.
The man allegedly responsible for a number of murders in Stockton, California, is set to go on trial today. Laura Engel reports.
The suspect in the Stockton serial killer case, who was believed to have taken at least 6 lives and terrorized the Central California region for the last 18 months, will appear in a California courtroom Tuesday to face charges in the case. And perhaps one of the most haunting details of his arrest over the weekend is that police believe he was just moments away from striking again. 43-year-old Wesley Brownlee was taken into custody Sunday morning, staked out by police who had him under surveillance for several days when they spotted him stalking a person who was alone in a park in the early morning hours. Police say Brownlee is a Stockton resident and is believed to be unemployed and has a criminal record.
The Atlanta Press Club hosted a gubernatorial debate between Georgia incumbent Republican Governor Brian Kemp, Democrat Stacey Abrams, and Libertarian candidate Shane Hazel. When asked what the biggest challenge that Georgians are facing is, Governor Kemp is pointing to the economy.
My focus is going to be what it was when I opened the debate, and that is helping you fight through 40-year high inflation and disastrous policies in Washington, D.C. I would remind you that Stacey Abrams campaigned to be Joe Biden's running mate. She supports these policies that have raised taxes on hardworking Americans and Georgians when they promised they would not.
Georgia Republican senatorial candidate Herschel Walker participated in a town hall hosted by Fox's Hannity. South Carolina Republican Senator Tim Scott is joining Walker in the town hall, declaring Georgia a must-win for Republicans.
Here's a common-sense conservative who's doing the right thing, understands business, has signed the front of a paycheck and not just the back. If we want to help Georgians and all of America, let's start winning the majority right here in Georgia.
A member of the Virginia General Assembly is responding to a proposed bill that could destroy families. Charlie Butts has more.
Last month, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin changed liberal rules on how transgender children are to be treated in public schools and then applied protections for privacy for those that are not. Elizabeth Guzman, a member of the House of Delegates, promptly threatened to reintroduce a bill that protects LGBT and punishes parents that disagree with their make-believe gender. Victoria Cobb of the Family Foundation of Virginia is familiar with the bill.
It's abundantly clear that the ideological left and radical LGBTQ groups are scheming together to demonize and punish loving parents, people who simply want to bring up their children in the best way possible, and they're basically driving wedges between them and their children.
The bill a couple of years ago did not pass.
Well, we saw a version of this bill in 2020, and it appears the intent is to go even further to force parents to abdicate their role to nurture and guide their children through life, and that they have to abdicate that to the child's view and the state's view of sex and sexuality, regardless of the harm that that is to the child.
Conservatives have been outraged and did something about it. Guzman says now she will not reintroduce the bill. I'm Charlie Butts.
Stocks were mostly higher in Europe and Asia Tuesday, tracking the latest rally on Wall Street. U.S. futures advanced. U.S. benchmark crude oil gave up 48 cents to $84.98 per barrel. More news online at afn.net. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Here at KNVBC, we're very grateful to the American Family Radio for allowing us to broadcast their Christian news free of charge. And we encourage you to listen to this brief word from AFA.
Dr. Jerry Newcomb of D. James Kennedy Ministries calls socialism one of history's worst ideas. Find out why in Dr. Newcomb's blog, The Pilgrims Learned of Socialism's Worthlessness. Why Can't We? Discover a wide variety of culture-transforming blogs today at afa.net/The Stand. The Stand from American Family Association, addressing culture, promoting faith, and defending the family.
Visit afa.net/The Stand.
Good morning. This is October the 18th.
Morning by morning, new mercies I see.
Thy paths drop fatness. Psalm 65, verse 11. Many are the paths of the Lord which drop fatness, but a special one is the path of prayer. No believer who is much in the prayer closet will need to cry, my leanness, woe unto me," Isaiah 24:16. Starving souls live at a distance from the mercy seat and become like the parched fields in times of drought. Prevalence with God in wrestling prayer is sure to make the believer strong. The nearest place to the gate of heaven is the throne of heavenly grace. Spend much time alone with Jesus, and you'll have much assurance. Spend little time alone with Jesus, and your faith will be shallow, polluted with many doubts and fears, and lacking in the joy of the Lord. The soul-enriching path of prayer is open to the very weakest saint, and no high attainments are required. See to it that you are often in private devotion and fellowship with Jesus. Earth has no words which can set forth the holy calm of a soul leaning on Jesus' bosom. Few Christians understand it. They live in the lowlands and seldom climb to the mountaintop. They live in the outer court. They don't enter the holy place. At a distance they see the sacrifice, but they don't sit down with the priest to eat and enjoy the fat of the burnt offering. But sit always under the shadow of Jesus. Let your beloved be as the apple tree among the trees of the woods, and you'll be satisfied with the marrow and fatness. O Jesus, visit us with your salvation.
Join us each day at this time for Morning by Morning, daily devotionals by Charles Spurgeon, read by Brother Ed Russ.
This is Scott Miller from Piedmont, Missouri, and you're listening to the best in Christian radio, KNVBC Revival Radio.
This programming is brought to you by KNVBC Revival Radio, the 24-hour radio ministry of North Valley Baptist Church in Santa Clara, California. Visit us online at www.nvbc.org.